Just bear with me. I want to change the orientation of it and it won't change. This is because I have done things differently today, of course. So let me just try and get this. You're going to have to view me this way today, I'm afraid. Let me set this. Okay, that looks about right. Let me see. Sitting right down at the bottom. Sorry, guys, about this. When I went to go live, it said to me, change orientation, which I did, and then it just went stupid. So I thought, okay, I'm just going to have to go live like this. Bear with me. Bear with me. Hi, Elle, lovely to see you. Does that look okay, guys? Let me know. Let me know if you can hear me as well. Stupid computers and YouTube and does my head in. So you get to see my desk, which is actually a table. Okay, this does not, it's not doing what I want it to do. Computers and me don't go well together at all. Oh my goodness, what am I doing? What am I doing? It's just doing strange things. I'm sure I'll figure this out in a moment. Bear with me, guys. Bear with me. At least the sound's off. That's good. That doesn't want to show. That's not showing any comments. Guys, let me know if you're there, because I'm not seeing comments on my one feed. That's because it's got top fans instead of... Don't know what I'm doing. Really don't know what I'm doing, guys. I'm so sorry about this. Live chat. There we go. There we go. I can see you. Oh, a bit crackly. That's my microphone, guys. There's nothing I can do about that until I get a new microphone, which will have to be when I come back from my holiday. I feel your pain, Witchy, but we can hear you okay. Yeah, sorry about the crackling, Pete. Not much I can do about it, I'm afraid. So, yeah, I'm afraid here I am, not knowing what I'm doing. Sorry, guys. Just give me a second to get myself organised. View my channel. Don't do YouTube Studio, guys, whatever you do. It's so confusing. Because I normally do everything from my phone. And since I've started going live, obviously there's other stuff that I have to do now, and I'm not in the center, so yeah. Mr. Anonymous, a witch. Yes, I am a witch. Lovely to see you. HS, lovely to see you. Look, we've got quite a few new people today, so that's wonderful. Guys, feel free to comment. Feel free to chat away in the comments. Let's keep it polite. Let's keep it friendly. We are a community. We're not here to argue. There's enough arguing in the world without us arguing here. So, yeah, I went running to... Oh, it's buffering. Let me know if it starts buffering, guys. Oh. Sorry, guys. This is just... It's one of those days. This morning, I didn't want to get out of bed. My back was sore. But I did go for a run. I only did 4Ks. I did want to do cast a text spell on it. Just give it a whack. Not my laptop. I need this. It's a relatively new laptop, and I need this for when I start studying again in October. So yeah, Stephen, I'm doing better than you. Loads of ideas and material for a channel, but pure stress due to being a technophobia. You know what? What I would say to you is have a look online at YouTubers who do they tell you what to do. They tell you how to do it. So I would suggest that. I've just started watching them. Should have been watching them ages ago, but I just started because I did lives on Facebook, you see. So I've got a page on Facebook that I used to do lives on. I don't anymore. I want to start it up again towards, well, after August, because I've got the whole of August is sort of like I'm on a holiday. Sorry, guys, this is just not lining up correctly for me. That's better. That's better. Now I'm in the centre. I don't like being off to one side. Yeah, so just have a look at videos online. You know, chat to Phil. I know did a video a while ago about things to concentrate on online and what you should do and so on. I mean, I know that my channel started out as looking at narcissists because I had just ended up a relationship with a narcissist, and so after that, then I just started to evolve into whatever it is now, which is being more of a feminist, I suppose, standing up for women's rights and helping women heal from traumatic relationships. And of course, I started studying psychology as well, which means that I've, you know, got a whole new focus and bringing that into what I do. Plus, I wanted to record some witchcraft videos today. I've just not had time. You know, I'm going away on Thursday. I've got so much to do before I go away because I'm doing a ritual while I'm there. I'm also teaching a yoga class and I'm teaching a meditation session as well. And there might be 2 yoga classes and 2 meditations. So it depends on how I feel at the time and who wants to take part in it. I'm sorry, Elle. I'm really sorry. I can't change it. If I change it, I have to shut this down and do another one. It won't let me. I've looked on my computer. I've looked on my phone. It just won't let me. I'm sorry. I also don't like it. I also am struggling to cope with it because I've got all this space above my head, which is annoying me. So I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I wouldn't normally have this angle. You know that I prefer the you know, the horizontal angle, but yeah, YouTube is messing up on me today. So yeah, I wanted to talk today. Well, I go back to my run. So I did my run this morning. I'm in a lot of pain. I felt it today. My legs felt heavy. My breathing was good, but my legs felt heavy and I was slow and I just felt bleh. So yeah, my back's killing me today. My legs are killing me. So tonight I'm just going to have a nice restful evening. But Spike wants to say hello. He's saying hello to you all. Hello, everybody. I'm Spike. Hope you're doing well. I actually found I've got another hedgehog. This is a Purita hedgehog that I got from Doncaster Museum years ago. His name is Merlin. He's got name written on the bottom, Merlin. I don't know if that's the artist or the name of the hedgehog, but I don't see him there. He's laying on his back. So yeah, I forgot I had that. So yeah, I haven't seen my other hedgehog yet for a while, and I don't get any in my garden. I don't find any hedgehog poop. So, you know, but there's a field behind me, massive fields, woodland and everything. So I'm pretty sure they live there. Stephen, you struggle a bit with dyslexia and it holds you back. Yeah. I think, you know, I don't really use a script when I'm doing lives. When I am recording, I do have a script, although I go off script a lot. That'll be when you hear me go, and I'm looking around. So practice, you know, all you can do is practice. Set your phone up to record and do some practice runs. I don't have the ability to edit and cut videos and take out the mistakes and that on my phone. I probably do, but I don't know how to do it. But what I sometimes I'll record something 3 or 4 times until I'm happy with it, or I'll start recording it and then go, no, yeah, I'll pronounce something wrong, or I'll slur, and I'm not drunk because I hardly drink anymore. And I think, no, start again. Or, my nose starts to itch, or I need to burp, or, usual human stuff. Or because I'm looking, I've got a mirror here as well. I'm looking, is my hair right? And I've got the camera, the PC and everything. So, yeah, just record and then watch and listen back and think, how can I improve on this? That's my my advice anyway. Sorry, I'm looking at the comments here. You have your friend's channel, Stephen, on You Will Not Divide Us. He passed away in 2020. Most reposts on all things Scottish. I've always wanted to migrate to YouTube with it, but not a clue how. That I don't know. I would suggest you get hold of Graham or Phil and ask them. I don't know. I wouldn't know how to tell you that. If it's... yeah, if you've got your friend's channel and you want to change the name, I would check on YouTube Studio and see what you can do there. Elle, just squint your eyes a bit and pretend. Sorry, Elle, you've got your hammy staring at you. Let's have a look. Sorry, guys. Spike is doing well. Spike is doing very well. He doesn't eat enough slugs, though. He needs to grow. He's still a baby. He's still a baby. I've had him for years. In fact, I think I got him the same time as I got the Pewter one, which would have been in 1997. Hi, Gary. Lovely to see you. Hi, Billy. Lovely to see you as well. Thank you. Yes, if you could hit the like button, that would be great. I think what's it on at the same time as me, Bin Podcast, and I know that Regan Elite's going live at 6, so guys, if you can go and support Regan Elite, brilliant channel. I watched him this morning. He's so sweet. He always gives me a call out, and I just think, wow, that's amazing that, we all sort of give each other call outs and that. We're a big community, aren't we? Have I said hi, Gary? Cheers to you. Stephen, I want to keep the channel as it is. I like the handle. It's just getting it from Facebook to YouTube. Oh, okay. You might have to download the videos and then upload them onto YouTube. Yeah, so it looks like that's a job for lots of time spending downloading to your computer or laptop and then uploading them to YouTube. I don't think the two interface together. Again, I don't know. I'd ask Graham. He's the wizard of all this stuff. Has anybody noticed that I'd done my hair? I've got a purple streak. I want this streak to go silver, but of course, because it's dyed black, when they bleached it at the hairdressers, obviously now it's got to be bleached a few times until it goes silver. So, yeah. So at the moment it's purple. It will probably change colours over the next few months until I get the white streak that I want. Stephen, you're lost already. Don't worry. Don't worry. I'm lost every day. Every day. So today I want to talk about why women choose the bear. Now, so much stuff happens constantly. You noticed but thought it may have been the lighting. No, there's a light over here as well. I don't know if you can see that. It's purple. Just this bit here, just this little bit here. So I want it to be white. What's her name? Was it Lily Monster? I think she's got the white streak in her hair, or is it Frankenstein's Bride? I'm not sure. Great lager. This is blackcurrant juice. Cordial. I can't drink fizzy drinks anymore. Very sad. Although I do sometimes have Coke, but only very small amounts. Coca-Cola, very small amounts, because it just bloats me and then I'm sick for hours afterwards with stomach pains. So, coming back to the topic, why do women choose the bear? So, England, the Lionesses won, which is why I'm sorry I didn't go live on Sunday. I didn't realise that they were playing at the same time. And I don't normally watch football, but it's the Lionesses, big game. And I thought, okay, normally when I watch football and it's a team that I'm supporting, they normally lose. So I was quite surprised that they won, but they played brilliantly. And Bronze, wow, she had a broken tibia the whole way through the tournament. She had a broken tibia. I think she injured herself 30th of May or 23rd of May. I read somewhere, I think it was the 30th of May, she injured herself then. And so she was playing with that. I don't know where the fracture was on her tibia, but if it's anything like me, if she's right-footed, it'll be low on her tibia, probably on her right leg. Now, hi, blah, blah. I know you sent me an email. I need to email you back. I am going to do the email address when I come back from my holidays in a couple of weeks. So I will send you that email, and then I will take over that email address, and that will be either tonight or tomorrow. I promise. I'm sorry. I'm being lax. I'm not meaning to be lax, but so much stuff is going on, lots of preparations for this weekend, and then I'm back for 2 days, and then I'm at Bloodstock for 7 days. So it's just flat out washing, packing, food ordering, getting the cat sitter sorted, getting cat food in. You know, and you always, when you're going away, you always want the house to be nice and neat and tidy before you go. So when you come back, it's nice and neat and tidy. Not happening. Hi, Chopped. Lovely to see you. Thank you for joining. Hi, Tim. Hello, beautiful lady. You're Tim from England, UK, the United. I can touch things and tell you where it came from. Okay, I'm not sure what you mean there. You're from England. I'm from England. Most of us are from England on here, or Scotland. Hi, Danica. Lovely to see you. Hi, Tex Meets. Hi, Mithril. Oh, wow. You're all amazing. Can you touch me and see my past? No, you don't want to see my past. Danica, you're going to subscribe. Thank you so much. That's wonderful. Yes, if you all could, thank you, Stephen, just hit that like button. It would make a massive difference if you could subscribe to the channel as well. And if you could share it to your socials as well. I'm a very small channel. I talk about lots of different subjects, and I try to be inclusive of most things. I am a witch, I am pagan, I am a goth. Yeah, I'm studying psychology at the moment. So yeah, loads of stuff to talk about. Tim, I'm gonna not Christian God. I believe in gods and goddesses, but I'm going to leave those conversations for a different day, because today's chat is going to be all about why women choose the bear. Coming back to the main topic. So the Lionesses won, and Bronze had a broken tibia. Now, I broke my tibia, it's good 10, 11 years ago now, and I did it while I was running, didn't know it had happened, carried on running about another half a kilometre, and then I thought, no, okay, I've got to stop, got to walk. So went to the doctors. They diagnosed it as a ligament damage. It wasn't. It took them 3 months to diagnose it as broken. By that time, it was already healing. Stress fractures are not normally through the entire bone, so it's halfway through the bone, and then it starts to heal. But during that time, I was still walking around. I was still driving. That hurt, especially if I had to brake suddenly. I was still teaching yoga, and at that time, I was teaching yoga at different places around the area where I lived at the time. So I was driving to different places, but I was teaching on my left foot rather than my right foot. So if it was a posture that we did alternate legs, I would do it on my left foot. I also cycled around the Red Route at Sherwood Pines. On a hybrid. It was a Claude Butler. Loved that bike. It was like a sort of mint green colour. and I had a basket fitted onto the front. I really wanted a Phoebe bike from Friends, but the basket was removable, so I could remove it. And then I upgraded later on to a Voodoo. But yeah, so I cycled the red route with my broken leg. So I broke it in January and I cycled the red route in the February, and it was the end of March when it was actually diagnosed. Hi, wee Shazza, lovely to see you. Hi, Unquiet Badger. Thank you so much for coming over from the Bin podcast. Lovely to see you. Diz, hi, lovely to see you. Oh, it's awesome that you're all here. Greg, lovely to see you. Yeah, chat in the SG, lovely to see you. Wow. Mikey, wow, so many of you here. Sorry, I just want to say love to you all. Mwah. Love to you all for joining. McKinnon Mitchell, lovely to see you. Wow, I am honoured today. I think this is the most, this is the most people I've had watching. Woo! Yay! Wonderful, thank you. Excited. So, the Lionesses won. And I, as you know, I go and have a troll online at various things, and I was on, I think it might have been an LBC page or something. It could have been on Facebook, I'm not sure. And because I'm no longer on Twitter, I removed myself from Twitter. I just had enough. Thank you, Diz. Thank you. I felt like I needed to dress up a bit today. Oh, thank you, Stephen. Focus on the story, Debs. Focus on the story, the content. So, when I went on to various media outlets, the men were all saying things like, Bron shouldn't have played. She could have been ruined the game for the team. Oh, the girls aren't as good as the boys. And Joey Bartlett, which I've managed to pull up, Joey Barton, decided that he was going to be all nasty to the Lionesses. And he said, well done to the Lionesses winning the nonsense pottery trophy. Those penalties were borderline embarrassing again. Don't ever ask for equal pay again. Use our miles off it. Just how disrespectful. How disrespectful. The Lionesses are the first British team to win a tournament not on British soil. Twice in a row. Men, 1966 was a very long time ago. It was nearly 60 years ago now. Nearly 60 years ago. 60 years next year. So the girls brought it home. That's why women choose the Bear, because even when the women do good, do something like they did on Sunday night, men, not all men, and I want to be very specific here, not all men, because I know that the vast majority of you who follow me on this channel are incredibly in line with women and being respectful to women and helping us with gaining that respect through the whole world, really. That's what it's about. And when we talk about women's equality, it's not about a woman building a house. It's not about a woman being a mechanic, although they are out there. It's about equality in everything, in the way we treat each other, because at the moment, many men do not treat women fairly. Joey Barton, just absolutely disgusting. The girls won. They deserve it. I didn't get to see the bus ride through London. I'm going to have to catch up with it later, but I did see them when they were outside Bucks. But I cried when they won. I absolutely cried. I was just completely emotional. And I don't watch football. It's not my sport. I'm a rugby girl and a cricket girl. But when she scored my arms went up in the air. My cat jumped off my knee in terror, and I was just completely... I'd had the idea that afternoon I was going to have a movie afternoon and then come live. And then when I realised that the football was on, I was like, oh, better watch that. Being a feminist, better support the girls. So I found an article. This is from, bear with me. What is it from? It is from Marie Claire. Okay, I don't read Marie Claire anymore. I used to years ago, and it's not letting me read it now. Just bear with me. So the Lionesses just won their second Euros final, an unprecedented and unrivaled achievement. So why do some men have such an issue with it? So guys, if you are in the chat, and I did want to ask this right at the beginning, why do you think women rather choose the bear? What do you think the reasons are? That would be really interesting for me to see that. And I'm not going to diss anybody in the chat. You know, I think it is important that we are polite to each other, and that I'm here to educate. And I speak from a woman who has gone through so much awful treatment from men. Goblin is the one-eyed cat. That's right. She's my lap cat, Pete. She likes to sit on my knee all the time. She is my, yeah, she's my big baby. I can't have them in here when I'm working, because she just jumps up constantly and stands in front of me, and all you'd see is a bum, and you don't want to see Goblin's bum. Really don't. She's not very good at cleanliness. The bear is a strong animal. It is a strong animal, but so are men. And the thing is, with bears, we know what a bear's going to do, don't we? We know it's either going to chomp us, or it's going to go about its thing and run off. Whereas if we meet a man in a forest, we don't know what that man's going to do. He could be a nice man. He could be helpful. However, there are stories out there. There are documentaries that you can watch on Netflix, on Amazon Prime, about where women have trusted that this person is going to help them, and then they have been raped and unalived by that person, by that man. And it even happens in families where the father or stepbrother or brother will do something similar, or uncle, or, you know, so many other people within families will behave in that way towards the women in the family or towards the children in the family. And the sad thing is that the vast majority of rape is done by a husband or a boyfriend, somebody that's known to the victim. So coming back to this article, why do men have such an issue with it? The magnitude of this achievement can't be ignored. The win was unprecedented, nail-bitingly tense, and almost completely unbelievable, given that they lost their first match of the tournament to France 2-1. But the heart, spirit, and soul of the team shone through over the tournament, teaching the nation the undeniable power of grit, determination, and resilience, and above all else, the importance of never, ever giving up. And I think when I look at Bronze and her, the way she, you know, just played throughout the whole tournament. If that was a guy, and I'm just saying this, would they have played? Somebody put on a comment somewhere that I saw, I can't remember where it was, but yeah, they go off for headaches, the blokes. You know, women play through their menstrual cycle, which I can tell you, as a woman, is not nice. It is very unpleasant. Many of the women that play sports these days generally use a form of contraception that stops the period from happening. However, a lot of sportswomen don't, because they want to keep that regular rhythm. And of course, if you use contraception, it may well damage the body, and that it pregnancy then becomes harder when you want to have children later on in life. So a lot of them double up on pants and pads and things. And this is something, I mean, there would be nothing worse, would there, than a tennis player at Wimbledon who has to wear white, a female tennis player having a leak. And women feel it in their body. They know that they are weaker at that time of the month than any other time of the month. It is physically, you feel weaker. Any women in the chat can, can attest to this. Sorry, I'm just having a look here at some of the comments. Diz, I also thought that Spain were the better team. However, there were two so-called fouls that they tried to get away with. The one she jumped, was it Agumenia, the young lass, the young 19-year-old who won player of the match? She didn't hit the girl's legs, and she did this massive jump, which I thought was hilarious. I'm like, even I could see watching on telly, and these are my old glasses because I broke my new glasses, that was not a foul. And there were a couple of pretend fouls that Spain did do. And I know a lot of the Spanish team have complained and said that they should have won, but they didn't. At the end of the day, the luck comes down to the end, doesn't it? That's it. It's, you can have the best players in the world, but they're, they won. Yeah, their diving scams were much better, much, much better. Let me have a sip of this. Blackcurrant juice. I've made it too sweet. So coming back to the article. So scrolling through my Instagram feed this morning, I'm inundated with posts celebrating our victory. Fans heap praise on Lucy Bronze for her grit about the broken leg. Chloe Kelly for her seemingly unflappable poise, which I think she was brilliant. Michelle Aguiman, that's it, for the undeniable speed and skill that won her young player of the tournament at just 19. But sadly, and what feels like as ever with women's sport, there's hatred among the euphoria. One particular vitriolic message was aired on LBC radio in a now viral clip. A man named Graham called into question why women's football is being rammed down our throats, while presenter Henry Riley appears visibly shocked. Okay, I don't think that the women's football was being rammed down our throats. Have a look at the footage of the women who were, it showed footage, I'm not sure where they were, but you look at the crowd in Europe and it was mostly women. You look at the supporters today were mostly women. Where were the men? When the men play and win, the women go and support as well. It's just sad that some men can't support women's wins as well. They did it for England. They won for England. A lot of these men who have this issue are men who probably wear, the St. George's Cross and, everything's about England. But yet, when it comes to women winning, I can't watch women's football, Graham states. Blokes who are football-minded are sick and tired of having women's football thrown down our throats. When you turn on the telly, there are always women. It's totally different to men's football. A decent Sunday men's football team would beat the women's football team, he continues. I wonder if Graham would beat the women's football team. Just ask him, Just ask him. He rounds off his argument by going on to criticise female commentators too, sharing that he can't listen to their voices and that they shouldn't be in the men's game, end of. He also claimed that if women's football had its own channel, no one would watch it. Well, I know that my dad would have watched it. I know he would have, and he would have been really proud. I know that my brother-in-law was watching. Yeah, anybody who is sport-minded will watch. I don't understand why some men, again, not all men, have this, feeling of dislike towards women when they won. We should all be really proud. We should all be really, really proud. Man, woman, child, everything. I mean, even today, I saw there were women in the audience that had their little babies with them. Hopefully those little girls will grow up to be footballers. My cousin has twins, and they played for Doncaster Bells. For years they played for Doncaster Bells. Excellent footballers. And I'm pretty sure that they could, knock half of these blokes that comment out of the park. Let's have a look. Sorry, going to some comments now. Stephen, you bled so bad on a daily basis for over 2 weeks, and the humiliation was one thing, but finding a way to deal with them when you have to go out. I did sleep one day, and I don't usually embarrass, but yeah, it happens to all of us. All women and girls will, when they're menstruating and at school, will say, I'm standing up now, can you check to see if there's anything there? Now, back when I was growing up, the products that we could buy were nowhere near the quality of what the products are today. And, so it's much better nowadays than it was back then. But again, I used to wear a pair of shorts underneath my skirt for school. Yeah. Let's have a look. Graham claimed that no one would watch women's football, yet 16.2 million tuned in to watch the Lionesses, smashing previous viewership records. He claimed that women's football is rammed down our throats, yet figures prove that male footballers dominate media coverage, receiving more airtime and article mentions than their female counterparts. One study by the University of Cambridge found that men are referenced almost 3 times more often than women in sports-related content, with another report by the Equal Media and Culture Centre revealing that men's football receives 28 times more coverage than women's football. And it does. It does. Opinions rooted in misogyny and malice need to be challenged. And it is in misogyny. It is that hatred of women, that a woman can't do what we can do. But they have just proven that they can. While everyone is entitled to an opinion, belittling and factually incorrect claims like Graham's are damaging. This is not Mike Graham. I saw somebody mention Mike Graham there. It's not Mike Graham. This is the guy who rang in and his name was Graham. And it's not our Graham either. I'm sure he wouldn't say that. I'm sure he was over the moon that the Lionesses won. I'm reluctant to give him any airtime, but opinions rooted in misogyny and malice need to be challenged. It begs the question, how much success does the women's team need to see to be accepted or, God forbid, celebrated? Exactly. Or is there unprecedented success and ability to achieve what the men's team has never, that's driving the root cause of the hatred? Personally, I think that may well be the case. That perhaps some men, again, not all men, are envious. I mean, I watch, when it's a tournament final and England's in it, I watch, and I'm disappointed when they lose. To me, it's not about male or female, it's about winning for the country. I'm English, but I lived in South Africa for a very long time, so I get very torn when it's a South African-England test match or a South African-England rugby match. I'm like, oh, I don't really mind who wins, but there's part of me that wants South Africa to win and part of me that wants England to win. But I remember going to see South Africa play England at the Wanderers in Joburg, and Jack Russell, he was fielding, and he was stood where we were sat. We were on the grass, and everybody was mocking him with his name being Jack Russell. They were barking and so on. And he actually asked to be moved to the other side of the field. So, yeah, it's, you know, so there's this, I'm in those two minds. And I saw that somebody also said they were Spanish and they were English and they didn't mind which team won. So there's always that. England's men's team hasn't won a tournament since 1966, and yet the women's team have made it to the final of their last 3 major tournaments, winning 2. They're reshaping the game as we know it, encouraging young girls all around the world to embrace movement and follow their dreams, and sparking joy, camaraderie and motivation. Opinions like Graham's and people's insistence on sharing such negativity and hatred online not only divide people but also discourage young girls from embracing sport. One poll from Kick It Out found 52% of people feel online sexism is putting girls off from engaging with football. Trolling and online hatred sadly seem to be part and parcel of being a professional female athlete in 2025, but it shouldn't be. If you don't like it, turn it off. Agree. If you feel the need to post negatively, think about the impact of your actions. And if you feel that men's team are better, do your research. The Lionesses have achieved the unimaginable. Let's give them the good grace of treating them like the heroes that they are. I completely agree. So I also went to find, so I found quite a few articles here. A lot of women, as I say, are choosing the bear. In other words, they are choosing to remain single. They are choosing to avoid having relationships with men. Now, I'm talking about the specific demographic of the Gen Zers and the millennials. I would say probably the later millennials, but the Gen Zers and is it the Alpha Gens? I'm not sure what the next one is called. I think they're too young though, but women are avoiding relationships because of so-called alpha male domination. Sorry, I did post an article. I find an article about alpha males and women's fear of men. Why are women afraid of men? Okay, so when I must have been about 6 or 7 or 8, I remember a boy at school looking up my skirt. That was the first time I was ever sexualized. And since then, my whole life, I have had so many comments and situations and SV, SA, DV and grape occur to me. And it is enough to put you off being in a relationship with a man. Because 2 of those happened with men that I was in a relationship with. And yeah, you can say choose better men, but what it comes down to is we don't know who the better men are, because every man, when you first meet them, will be nice, will be sweet towards you, will woo you, will buy you gifts and take you out and so on. It's only when you're in a long-term relationship or you're married that the cracks appear, that they start to abuse you, that they start to mistreat you. And those can be simple things such as, oh, you never do the dishes, you don't cook, you don't do this, you don't do the next thing. What is to stop the man from doing that? There's so many ways that a man can undermine a woman in a relationship. So think of it this way. When a little kid is bitten by a dog, it's understandable that they might be scared of all dogs from then on. And when you hear about somebody else being bitten by a dog, a little kid being bit by a dog, you may well then be afraid of all dogs because of that. Now, I have a fear of dogs. Not all dogs, but a lot of dogs. Especially when the owner, they're off the lead, and the owner says, don't worry, they won't bite, and the dog is barking at you and snarling at you, and I'm running, and I'm thinking, okay, So the same thing happens with abuse from men. That a woman is sexualized generally at an early age. Look at Trump and the things he said about his own daughter. You know, a lot of men will say things like that about their own daughters. I'm not saying all men, so please remember this is not all men, but it is always a man. There was a story that I read, it was on TikTok actually, it was a TikTok clip that I saw. A woman, she was a basketball player, and it was a mixed team, and they'd go and play basketball every week, and it was a big group of people, and they'd go for a meal afterwards, pizza or whatever. And this woman, she must have been the sort of centre forward, the captain of the team, and she asked the captain of the other team to say, look, you know, the friend of hers that was male, she said, look, can you make sure that so-and-so is not seated next to a woman, if you can, you know, have two men seated on either side. And he said, why? And he said, because he harasses us all the time. And he said, okay, I'll have a word with him. And he did. And from then on, this guy didn't harass the women again. And the women had said, no, I'm not giving you my number. No, I don't want to see you. No, I don't want a relationship with you. But some men see that as an opportunity to go, well, she said no, but I'm going to wear her down. If a woman says no, she says no, that's it, leave it. You know, just leave it. 91% of grape and SA victims are women, and 99% of their perpetrators are men, according to a report. This is from the US Department of Justice. Grape and SA are incredibly prevalent topic, and with these statistics, people must acknowledge that assault is an issue, most often victimizing women and perpetrated by men. In conversations surrounding assault, there is an omnipresent fear that women will be harmed by men. Women are warned from being children. Be careful of boys. When we're young, we don't know why. You know, our dads and moms will tell us that. I mean, my dad, I remember him telling me, and it was only later in life I thought, yeah, now I know why. Now I know why he told me that. Even if a woman has not experienced grape or SA, she still might have a reason to fear men. Women frequently deal with violence, danger, and overall unsafety that is most often perpetrated by men. They're also surrounded by the stories of women who have experienced what they fear most. From a young age, women are taught to protect themselves because they know there is a possibility of it happening to them. That's true. Women are always aware, most women are walking down the street and are aware of their surroundings, are aware of, okay, so I'm running and there's a man walking towards me, so I will cross the road and carry on running on the other side of the road, even though I need to be on this side to get round the corner. Or sometimes they will move or stop. But I try and avoid people. I generally run in woods and forests because I like trail running rather than road running. It's better on the knees and the ankles. Women are always aware of these things. Always. Always, always, always. It is something that we are just, as girls, we are taught to, you know, be aware of men. So 12 reasons that some women are choosing to stay single. They value their freedom. Women don't necessarily want to be tied down anymore to a house and to children and, you know, to looking after a boyfriend or a husband. A lot of men, and I'm not saying all men, but a lot of men think that the woman should do all the housework, all the cleaning, look after the kids, and so on, and so on, and so on. Why? Because generally, in this day and age, the woman works as well. You know, most of us cannot afford to survive on one wage or salary. They're focused on their careers. A lot of women are focused on their careers. They want to be a success. They want to, you know, go further in the business that they're in. They're open to different forms of love as well. It's not just about romantic relationships. Platonic love of deep friendship. For example, I don't want another romantic relationship. It doesn't interest me. I've been there, done that, got hurt so many times. that it's just not worth my while. I am so much happier on my own, and I have some really close friends, male friends, who I get on with really, really well, but I don't want to have any intimate relationship with them. They enjoy their own company. Yeah, I do. I love my own company. I love being with myself. I love being able to sit there and pick out on ice cream and crisps and chocolate and not have somebody looking at me and saying, oh, they're going to your hips. And I was like, yeah, I know, but I'm going to run 10Ks tomorrow, so it's all good. They're exploring their independence. You know, women couldn't buy houses until I think it was the 1970s. They couldn't buy their own homes. They couldn't open their own bank accounts. And women want to be independent. They want to avoid the emotional labor. Now, for a lot of women, being with a man is, they become the psychologist for the man. They become the person who has to care for the man on a psychological level. They care for the children on a psychological level. You know, I'm not saying, again, not all men, but it is very rare that a man will cry. It is very rare that a man will, you know, put the children to bed, read to them, bath them, and so on. And I'm not saying, you know, again, not all men, but of the younger generations, a lot of men get home and all they want to do is play computer games. Whereas then the mother has to go and cook and clean and kids and all the rest of it. There needs to be a level of equality there. They're financially savvy. Yeah, women know more about finances. As I say, they can open bank accounts. They can make sure their credit score's good. They can go and buy their own houses. They can prioritize their health and well-being if they are single. And yeah, women who are married or in relationships are much more likely to fall ill than men. They are much more likely to gain weight. They are much more likely to be depressed. Whereas when they're on their own, they are happier. And men, on the other hand, when they're on their own, are very unhappy. When they're in a relationship, they're at their best. So I'm going to get to some comments in a moment, guys. Women are waiting for the right reasons. Why should we settle for whoever comes along and think, well, this is the person for me? And now a lot of alpha males will say, well, you know, these women want rich men and so on. No, they don't. Look around you. Look around you. Look at your parents. Who are they married to? Look around you at the neighborhood. Women and men of all different types get together, fall in love, and are together for the right reasons. If you are truly in love with a person, you're not going to worry about whether they drive a Lamborghini. Although today when I was running, I saw a Lotus. Oh, it was beautiful. Really, really beautiful. I do love supercars. Women have a strong support network. We do. Women tend to have a lot more friends, a lot more female friends than men have male friends who are, you know, who we can speak to on a deeper level. Whereas men don't really have that sort of deeper relationship with other men. They tend to talk about football, talk about games, and, you know, whereas women will talk about their deeper emotions. They've witnessed problematic relationships. Their friends have had them. They value their sleep and personal space. And yes, I do. Now, when I was living with my last husband, we slept in separate rooms. I'm an insomniac and he snored. I like my own personal space. I like to, you know, I go into the bathroom and it's clean and it's sparkly and there's no skid mark in the bottom of the toilet. There's toilet paper there. You know, everything's where it should be. So those are just some of the reasons. Now, I quickly want to come to something that, what's her name? It's Poachin, isn't it? Sarah Poachin for Runcorn and so on. who brought up false figures about immigrants, migrants being the most convicted, or the people most likely to commit rape. No. They are more than likely to be convicted. And I've said this before. Why? Because their skin is a different colour or their language is different. So these are figures from Migration Central, which date to 2020, migrants in 2024. Migration control shows that foreign nationals, that's all foreign nationals, that's not just those that come across in small boats, accounted for up to 34% of convictions for sexual assault on a female last year. So they're focusing on that 34%. What about the 66% that are not foreign nationals? What about that 66%? It is 66, isn't it? Yeah, it is 66. Sorry, just doing some maths. Why are they only focusing on those that are foreign nationals when the focus should be on men as a whole? The figures show, I'm just going to go through this briefly. I'm going to do a video on this when I get back from my holiday, but the convictions are attributed to 20 foreign national groups: India 38, Romania 27, Poland 27, Pakistan 20, Afghanistan 19, Sudan 16, Bangladesh 14, Iraq 12, Iran 12, Lithuania 11, Nigeria 10, Italy 9, Syria 8, Eritrea 8, Latvia 7, Bulgaria 7, Turkey 6, Spain 6, Portugal 6, and Egypt 6. So this would mean that the conviction rate for foreign nationals is 5.75%, 5.75 per 100,000 of the population, and 1.77% per 100,000 for the British population, a conviction rate which is 224% higher. In other words, foreign nationals are convicted for SA on a female at a rate of 2.24 times higher than the British population. Why is that? And I've said this so many times. Because a jury will look at a white British man, depending on the makeup of the jury, which is sometimes 50-50, but most often it's more men, and they will say, oh, well, she's lying. She made it up. 3/4 of women do not report rape, SA or DV. I'm going to have to do that in another video because I can see that it's 1 minute to 6 and Regan Elite's going to be going live. So I'm quickly going to go through some comments here before I close off for the day. And I want to say thank you to everybody for being here today. Absolutely brilliant to see you all. Sorry, guys, I seem to have lost a lot of comments here. Bear with me. Let me go back to this one here. Okay, bear with me. Hi, Trip. Lovely to see you. Sorry, I've lost track of all comments. Jan. Hi, Jan. Lovely to see you. My partner of 40 years removed most of the... Okay, he left me in France. Now I can't be asked with a social life. Yes, blah, blah, no kink shaming, please. Just because I'm dressed like this does not mean that I am into bondage. Not my cup of tea at all. Most people don't have evidence or leave it too long, and people tend not to help. Yeah, there has to be a better method of collating evidence. There does. They are now trying to collate the evidence in a more... I've checked with the ONS figures, and they do not... You'll see if you go on there and request those figures that they don't do it at the moment. They haven't been doing it. Oh, Elle and her Thai fetish. Okay, okay, Elle's allowed to have a Thai fetish. Sorry, guys. I thought people were... Oh, toe fetish. Okay, I thought people were talking about because I dress goth means, you know, a lot of people think that a goth, because they dress goth, is into bondage and S&M and so on. No, we just like dressing like this. You know, what is wrong with dressing like this? Cheers, Stephen. Thank you for the company. Catch you all soon. Yes, head over to Regan Elite. I am going to go and get my dinner now. Sorry that I didn't get to all the comments, guys. Really, really sorry. I may be live on Thursday. It depends what the connection is like out there in the forest. Possibly on Sunday evening. I will have to let you all know because it depends what time I get home and how tired I am. Tuesday next week there will not be one. Thursday next week there will not be one. Sunday next week there will not be one. I am away at Bloodstock Music Festival where I shall be banging my head, listening to music, being with all my hardcore mates and just having a fabulous time watching the bands that I absolutely love. This year the lineup is fantastic. My favourite band is playing Lord of the Lost. They are playing on the Sunday. After them it's Mastodon and after them it's Gojira. So I am really looking forward to Sunday. Au revoir, Jan. I will see you all maybe on Thursday. It depends. Spike says, bye-bye, everybody. And I'll have to look at getting a grown-up Spike in the future. Take care. Have a wonderful week ahead. Blessed be. Mwah.